Hey there, guys and gals and non-binary pals. Di Cerullo here. I am a diversity, equity, inclusion, and allyship strategist and consultant in the greater Boston area, but I do travel around quite a bit. My experience, my degree is in anthropology, specifically gender, race, and class and cultural studies. I did a lot of work while I was obtaining my degree having to do with healthcare disparities, racial healthcare disparities in the Atlanta area where I went to college. I grew up in the Massachusetts foster care system. I know, right? And um, was in poverty for a long time. I, when I aged out of foster care, I became homeless, but through just absolute disregard for what other people thought, was able to move across the country from Boston to Atlanta and have a better quality of life. So I am here to talk about DEI concepts, diversity, equity, and inclusion concepts, as well as allyship. I've noticed a lot of folks are sort of waking up to the fact that if they want to call themselves allies or aspiring allies or advocates or co-conspirators, what have you, that there is an inherent responsibility to those titles. And the fact of the matter is, with that responsibility comes a responsibility to not only act in a way that befits your title, but also self-educate and have an awareness of the issues at play and how one acts in these scenarios. So if you've ever had the experience where you saw something happening and you knew it was wrong and you weren't sure how to talk about it or you weren't sure how to speak up, you're in the right place. That's who I'm here for. I'm here for you. I'm here to teach you what it looks like to be inclusive and to practice good allyship. So when we talk about the term ally, a lot of people can get pretty frustrated because, I mean, even myself included, a lot of people can get really frustrated because it sort of denotes the fact that there's this responsibility on BIPOC folks to sort of bear the brunt of systemic racism and systemic injustice, and that we as people who are benefiting from white privilege sort of slide in and, because we're good people, will help them fight the fight. I argue that this is absolutely the wrong way to think about this. The right way to think about this, again, in my opinion, is the fact that because we as lighter skinned folks are benefiting from white privilege and benefiting from these systems of inequality, we have a responsibility to break these systems down, to understand them, and then break them down, and not keep the onus on the people who are suffering beneath them to do all that work. So that is sort of my philosophy. That's why I'm here. But that is not to say that I come in from the white privilege, sort of navel gazing perspective. As I had just mentioned, having come up in foster care, I feel a lot of survivor guilt, which is pretty common in communities of color as well. I don't intend. Let me start this over. So I both have to acknowledge that my birth father is a brown-skinned Hispanic man and acknowledge that I am clearly a person that benefits from white privilege. So the reason I do that is not to sort of lend credibility to myself as a person who can discuss these issues, but instead rather to sort of demonstrate the ways in which intersectionality of identity is at play at every single turn of my existence, and many other people as well. So that's what I'm here to do. I hope you will join me on these concepts. I hope we can talk about this in great detail. I hope you can ask questions. I hope if you feel inspired that you will subscribe for more conversations. You can like and share and all of those wonderful things that you can do via YouTube to build up this community and build up this understanding to take our responsibility as allies and folks who will dismantle systems of inequality and systems of racism seriously. So thank you so much for being here. Please hit me up anytime. I'm so excited to get started with you. Take care.